in Puerto Rico, as a coffee farmer, the main challenges are the high cost of production. So that includes inputs, pesticides, anything that has to do with production is very high priced because we're on an island and we don't produce our inputs. Whatever already costs a lot, when it gets imported to Puerto Rico, it's an added cost, so it's a higher price. So we want to have more money in our pocket and not spend money on fertilizer, pesticides, and all of that in a way that makes us more sustainable.
So here in Puerto Rico, since we're an island, most of the farming products are coming from other countries. They're being made in other countries, so they have to be transported to Puerto Rico. We have seen that during big events like María, the access to this product is just pretty much stopped, so we don't get access to them. So we need to start surviving with what we have in the island.
Through the last years, we have seen more frequent storm and hurricane incidents in the island, and definitely that put us in a situation where the electric grid, the water availability, and the food production was also damaged. In Puerto Rico, we have a situation where, like all the islands, the food and most of the resources come from abroad.
María devastated the island. María was complete destruction for, I would say, more than 99% of the farmers on the island. Maybe some were lucky to escape with a couple of acres without it being touched, but I feel that just basically everybody went to zero again.
After María, water agriculture pretty much went completely down, and we had to import all the food from other countries. We are trying to don't let that happen again. We're trying to make sure that in any situation we have food in the island so people is not starving.
The hurricane and storm situation in general are putting pressure in the power grid, putting pressure on the water system, and putting pressure on the agricultural sector and the transportation sector. Whatever that comes on a boat is gonna be struggling to get to the island, because if the port is damaged, they cannot dock. The context of being an island, we are surrounded with water. So we have a bunch of fish. So all that could become a really good fish fertilizer. We're taking waste and adapting it to resources, which is the most intelligent way on working on islands, because not only we have limited landmass, we also have limited resources. This is how the fish amino acid starts. We add the sugar. The sugar dehydrates the fish and gets all the juices out. The finished product is gonna look like this one over here. All the fish have been decomposed, and you only have like the spines and the scales, which they can also be milled and become another byproduct. This is a small version of the operation. This is like 30 gallons. And this is what farmers could do in a simple way at their farm, or you can also scale it to a 250 gallons.
These projects are educating us to help us integrate those practices and also be able to build the facilities so that we can make and process our own biofertilizer composting facilities. In this way, we can make our farms more resilient.
We have the youth sacks, which are rescued too from the coffee industry. So we repurpose them to transport the biochar inoculated with the bio inputs. The biochar, which has these small pockets, in these small pockets all the microorganisms live once inoculated. So if this biochar gets stored on the soil, not only serve as an amendment for the soil, also it's like a microbial real estate. So this microbial real estate could serve as a way of amend the soil and also further the life of the microorganisms that are being established or already established in the soil. Definitely is a really good resource, specifically since it's being made out of bamboo. Bamboo that is growing on the side of the streams or on the side of the road. So this could be a good option for management and also a good option for regenerating the soil, especially if inoculated with the right inputs locally and a way of implementing them effectively.
Our vision and inputs after Maria is we have to create our own inputs and to lower that cost of production in a way. We have to try to find a way to produce our own inputs, our own biofertilizers, our own biopesticides. To create certain amount of these helps us buy less. So it makes us more resilient in a way because we don't have to spend money on inputs or in fertilizer or in any other type of agricultural input, and makes it more resilient because we not only produce better product because it'll help us not only feed our plants but feed our soil, and we can also create another added value product because if we get to a point that we overproduce, which we hope we do, we can start selling to other farmers, and maybe that creates a shift in how we look at farming.
Resiliency for me is to be able to have a farm that can survive during stress moments. Resiliency is a way that my farm can keep producing volumes of good quality coffee and cacao without being affected by storms, hurricanes, or dry times when we don't get rain. I think it's not just a one-person effort, it's a community effort to survive as an island.
The goal is to create a regenerative mindset. If we nurture the soil and we give back to the earth, it's only a matter of time for it to give back. So if we focus on working with the soil, the byproduct would definitely be a good crop.
We want to change this industry and we have to start with ourselves first. And after we start from ourselves, it's like the pay it forward type of movement. You teach your neighbor and your neighbor teaches their neighbor and their neighbor teaches their neighbor. And you just wish as the initial insider of this movement is that movement continues on and it reaches not only 10 but hundreds and 1,000 farmers here on the island.